President Trump taking a hard line on immigration. Here are two tweets from over the weekend. I would be willing to shut down government of Democrats. The Democrats do not give us the votes for border security, which includes the wall. Must get rid of lottery, catch and release, etc. And finally go to system of immigration based on merit. We need great people coming into our country. Joining us now, Nick Johnson. He's Axios editor-in-chief. Nick, the president will follow through. Would he actually follow through on this particular threat?
He might, but it won't happen as soon as you think. Republicans we're talking to saying that there's no chance, or very little chance, certainly, of a shutdown before the midterm elections. Remember, the spending bill we're under effect right now will wrap up by the end of the fiscal year. That's in September, and the last thing Republicans are looking for is a government shutdown a month before the election. But what they'll probably end up doing is doing a short-term bill, so we could certainly revisit this again in December, and then you could probably take the president's threats a little more seriously.
Of course, then the argument will be, shut it down during the holidays. But then again, there's always a reason not to, right?
Right. I mean, I've done this many times before, and sometimes these shutdowns can be very brief, a couple days, a weekend here and there. And of course, the essential services aren't shut down, and all the government employees who are furloughed get their back pay. It becomes much more of a sort of a political headache than an actual real one.
So what's the political angle for articulating this now in these tweets? Because I can see where Republicans may want to say, hey, you've got Democrats who didn't, over 100 of them didn't vote to support ICE agents, which is a critical component of law enforcement. Their job description is being misrepresented by big-time Democrats, folks who should know better, deliberately fanning the flames of anxiety and even anger toward our law enforcement. Wouldn't it be better to sort of zero in on that focus?
I think it's an okay issue for Republicans to focus on politically, but not in the context of a government shutdown. I think when you look at these historically, the party in power does take a hit politically when they can't get a deal just to keep the government open. And that's a calculation Republicans are making. They don't want to do that ahead of the midterm. But yes, they will absolutely return to this, I think, in December. Remember the last bill they signed, the $1 trillion budget-busting bill in the spring? The president hated that because he didn't get anything he wanted on immigration. So I think certainly in December he'll want to try again.
Yeah, I really don't think he'll ever do anything like that again. We'll see. Next one for you, Nick.
Yeah.
Democrat socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez slamming military spending. Listen to what she's saying now. Roll tape.
Right.
Just last year, we gave the military a $700 billion budget increase, which they didn't even ask for. They're like, we don't want another fighter jet. They're like, don't give us another nuclear bomb. They didn't even ask for it, and we gave it to them.
All right, Nick, we know that the military, spending went down, manpower went down, esprit de corps went down. How do you think this plays in the rest of the country, particularly in the Midwest?
Right. She was actually in the Midwest, in Michigan, over the weekend, and she was asked about these remarks. And her response is that, just 6 months ago, she was just a regular American. She wasn't on her way to being a House member. She doesn't have all the media training. So on one level, I think the authenticity for some of her supporters is somewhat refreshing. But one thing I would look at is less so the sort of flubs or the gaffes, but sort of the more broad point she's trying to make about cutting defense spending. Remember, a lot of the Democrats who are lining themselves up for 2020 are very much single-payer, Medicare for all. That's something that's becoming a real part of the progressive Democratic Socialist platform, and I think she's definitely speaking to that.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's why we're talking about it right now. She has made a major splash.
Yes,
we'll see to whether or not the Democrats are going to be happy with that splash as it all washes out over time. Nick, thank you very much as usual. Appreciate it.